Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, today we're going to be talking about the recent weather events here, right here in Texas. All right, so many of you may know or you may not know, I am in Arlington, Texas. This past Sunday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we had the beginning of just a horrible, snowstorm, a winter storm. Matter of fact, we actually had two of them. So we had one come in Sunday, and we had one come in Tuesday night into kind of Wednesday morning ish. Um, Sunday, after everything came through, I was good. Power was still on, internet worked, everything was fine. Heater, all that good stuff. I was good. Monday, around 5:30 p.m. Central Time, I go to lay on my couch, watch YouTube, watch TV, do whatever, just like I normally do. And all of a sudden, power went out. So I immediately went into, I guess you could say, like a survival mode. I am a hunter, I'm a fisherman. I like to hunt, I like to fish, I like to eat what I harvest. If that offends you or if you don't agree with that, I'm sorry. It's just kind of how I was raised up with my dad, my grandpa. It's just what we did. So, I already have, I guess you can call it um, a bug out bag, or when it hits the fan bag. Um, I kind of had all my stuff ready, but I didn't really have it packed up. So my backpack, it was completely empty. So I just basically grab all my clothes, grab all the essentials, and grab my cat because I do have a cat. So I got all her stuff as well, with my stuff just to survive kind of overnight, maybe 2 nights, because I wasn't expecting this to last as long as it did. So I get everything ready. I call up my dad, call up my mom. Obviously that's the first who people you're gonna call. Check on them. Their electricity's on. They're fine. Everything's okay. So my mom actually lives a little closer to me than my dad does, and I didn't want to drive on these roads because it was already 4 or 5 inches of snow roughly in my little area, my neighborhood. So I didn't want to drive too far. So basically, I get the truck packed up, and I get to my parents' house, or I'm sorry, my mom's house. My parents are divorced, so I get to my mom's house and get everything unpacked and just basically stay the night. Eat a good meal, sleep, and then in the morning, I'm like, okay, I'll go get all my frogs, and I actually have two reef aquariums, so I needed to take care of those as well. So Tuesday morning ish, Tuesday, I guess mid morning, early afternoon, around probably 11 a.m. I get to my house, and it's freezing. It's obviously, but it's the frog tanks. I got what are those? They're I think they're Zoomed. Yeah, they're Zoomed, the hygrometer. They have the temperature and the humidity. It showed 50 degrees on most of them and like 52 on a couple of them. So frogs were pretty bad shape. I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but I didn't lose any frogs. Well, I guess there's an asterisk around that. So I've got 17 dart frogs in 8 vivariums. Some are juveniles, some are adults, some are breeding pairs. So the night before, when I was at my mom's, I went ahead and put a plan together that, hey, because I didn't have any supplies with me. Everything was here at my house. So I would get my 16-inch deli cups. I would stuff them full of sphagnum moss just for the transport, for the ride over to my mom's house. Obviously, have them moist, have them soak for a little bit while I'm gathering everything else. I had some 10-hour heat packs that I normally used to ship coral with, which, those things are a joke. They didn't even last maybe 3 or 4 hours. So, open up all the vivs. The frogs are just... I'm like, oh no, don't tell me they're all dead. I mean, they're in a state of, I guess they kind of, from what I've read on Facebook, or I don't know where I've seen it, maybe YouTube or just online somewhere. And I'm not entirely sure if it was pertaining to dart frogs, but they said, reptiles, amphibians, they'll kind of go into a state of hibernation. And so I was really hoping that that's what they were. I started touching a little frog, and it kind of moved its arm a little bit, kind of done this and that. And I was like, okay, cool. It's good. It's alive still, at least. So, I mean, literally just picked up the frog, put them in the thing. They didn't hop, run away, or nothing. So I got them all separated into each little deli cup. I just recently purchased 4 Costa Rican, Rotis juveniles, about 4 months old. They were in the same little 16-ounce deli cup. I put the frogs in the deli cup inside of a shipping container. It was a styrofoam shipping container, and I put the little 10-hour heat pack to the side with them. That's how I transported them. So, once I got to my mom's house, I opened up the box, checked them. They were hopping around. They were much more active than they were when I first picked them up. Let me rewind just a little bit. So, when we were still at my house, the very last vivarium, which houses some Pena Blancas, I've got 2 juveniles and 1 proven female. And these are the most shyest frogs. I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for me to go 2 weeks without seeing them. And I mean, this is me feeding them, kind of hiding around the corner, watching them. And I just don't see them. They're very shy, and they just haven't, I guess, got over their fear of coming to me, because I got them from a friend maybe about 2 months ago. Maybe not even quite 2 months, but it's been a little while. And they just haven't, I guess, warmed up to me yet. I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, I got the 2 juveniles, and I absolutely ransacked that tank. I couldn't find the female breeder. I mean, I probably spent 30 minutes just looking for her. That was the last frog I needed to get. Just couldn't find her. I mean, I took it all the way down to the substrate. I didn't want to dig through the substrate, because I was hoping, maybe she burrowed into the substrate for some reason. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. But anyways, get back to my mom's house. Open up the dart frogs. They're in their little deli cups with the styrofoam inside the styrofoam box. Everything's good. I also picked up a couple of my fruit fly cultures. I've got some bins that some have 4, some have 6. I brought a couple of those just in case, some of those may have died off, so I had plenty. So feeding them was not an issue. I didn't feed them the first day just because I wanted them to let them warm up and get more active, and so they can actually metabolize their food. So get them over there. Day 2, which is now Wednesday, power's still off at my house. And the only reason that I knew that the power was off, so I just moved here, and I don't really know too many neighbors. I don't have their phone numbers. I don't really communicate with them too much. I just moved here in December. And the only reason that I knew my power was still off was I've got some Wise cams, security cams. I've got some smart switches that I hooked up to my house, as well as some smart bulbs, some smart LED bulbs. And I couldn't connect to them. So that either had to tell me that my electricity was out or the internet was down. So I opened up my Nextdoor app, posted on there, hey, is electricity out in this neighborhood? Typed in your neighborhood, you can do all that stuff. And everybody's electricity was still out. Day 3, which is now Thursday, I check my apps, and lo and behold, I see notifications from my security camera. And I was like, oh, awesome, it's working. But then 3 hours later, it's off, it's disconnected. So I'm like, well, we're back to square one. No power. My frogs, they're not really thriving, I guess you can say. They're in this little bitty 16-ounce deli cup. A quarter of that is full with sphagnum moss, just trying to keep them alive inside of a styrofoam box being heated. And this whole time that these frogs are there, my mom, she likes to keep her house like a freezer. I don't know why, but she keeps the thermostat on 70, which, I mean, it's not bad. But I had my thermometer with me, my NIST validated thermometer, which is supposed to be scientifically certified to be accurate. It was reading 67. Sometimes it went down to 63. And that's really not ideal temperature for dart frogs. So I had to keep heat packs on them, as well as sometimes when the heat pack ran out, I would just cover the whole styrofoam box completely and just let the ambient temperature inside the box keep them warm. And I could not convince my mom, hey, can you turn this up to like 73 or something so the frogs can at least get to like 70 or 72. She just wasn't having it. So hey, I was a guest in her house, so it is what it is. So the power was back off, or I thought so. So this was Thursday afternoon when I went to the Nextdoor app again, and I just said, hey, look, power off, power on, what's going on? A lot of my neighbors or in my neighborhood were saying, oh yeah, power's back on, everything's good, but the internet's out. It's like, oh, okay, well, at least we got power. So I know that my house is actually warming back up to temperature. When we first arrived to the house, it was 57. And then, I keep it on 75 just to keep the tanks warm. But anyways, so my house was going back up to temperature. And I went ahead and, started putting a plan together to gather up all the animals and head out Friday midday just to make sure that all the ice was kind of melted on the road. Because last thing I want to do is have an accident with 17 dart frogs, 5 reef fish, coral, a cat, and myself. That's obviously the last thing I want to do. So I wanted to make sure ice was good, thawed out and melted, and start, to make the journey back to the house. After several good breakfasts, I'm talking eggs, bacon, biscuits and gravy, you name it, just every day at my mom's house. Good old mom, omelets, pancakes, several good dinners, chicken strips, which, I still got some. I got to actually heat those up. I may heat those up after I get done with this here. Chicken strips and chicken and gravy, some chicken and waffles. It was on. So after all that, got there Monday evening, left there Friday at right around 1 p.m. Finally got everything packed up. Got to the house, no internet, which is okay. I can live without it, but it's just kind of a little pain in my side. But I was very thankful I had electricity, and I've been here probably 24 hours now, and electricity's still on. The internet's been going in and out, but that's besides the point. So, finally got all the dart frogs unpacked. Had to put all of their vivariums back together because I basically ransacked all their vivariums just to find it. Just to find the frogs. And put the plants back together. Put all the leaf litter on top again. Mist it down to where it's nice and humid again. And then slowly introduce the frogs. Put their little deli cups in there and let them hop out on their own. The next morning, I went ahead and fed them pretty healthy serving of fruit flies to all of them, and most of them were very excited to eat, obviously, eat in their own home, their own vivarium, besides in a little tiny deli cup. And then after I fed them, probably about an hour later, I started hearing so it was a pretty good sign that at least the ones that were calling were doing well. And so far, it's been 24 hours, a little longer than that, and all of them are doing fine. I checked on them several times, and everybody seems to be recovering fine. And the Pena Blancas, the 2 juveniles, they're starting to come to the front of the tank, here in front of the Viv. Just kind of check it out. I was staring down at one for maybe 2 minutes, just kind of slowly hopped off. I just kind of take it as he was like saying, hey, thanks for saving my ass. So, still haven't found the female breeder, the mama. That's what it's called, just the mama. Still haven't found her. I'm hoping, that I'll catch her out of the corner of my eye or something, and that I'll see her. But, I mean, I don't know. All I can do is hope. And this storm, it was a bad storm. I mean, Texans, us, weren't prepared for that. Our houses aren't as insulated. Our water pipes are not as insulated or as, I guess, as thick. I don't know. I don't know what Schedule 40 or 80 or whatever people up north use who always get this kind of weather. Typically, each year we may get just a dusting of snow. I mean, not even to when it sticks on the ground. But nothing like this. And they were talking on the news that the lowest temperature it got, I believe it was Tuesday night, it was -3. Now, that's not the wind chill. That's the actual temperature. I believe the wind chill was like -20. And that's insane. Like, we don't get this. They said we tied a record, I think back in 1949 is when it was as cold as this. And the only time on record when it was colder, it was either -7 or -8. That was back in 1899. So this is a once a century type of storm so far. Hopefully it never happens again. And I know a lot of us froggers, reptile keepers, aquarium keepers, fish keepers, coral keepers, all of our little animal hobbies, I know we're definitely going to be prepared for it in the future. I mean, I know for me, my first thing I need to get, obviously, is a generator. And I need to get some new tires for my truck because, man, my truck was sliding everywhere Monday night when I drove to my mom's house. I mean, there was a couple hills or bridges that I had to go over, to get over to the other side of the highway. I was kind of freaked out, and I didn't know if I'd make it or not, but thankfully I did. The funny thing is, I had a generator. It was a 4,000 watts gasoline that I had bought from, what's that cheap place? Harbor Freight. I had bought it from Harbor Freight. It was like a Power Horse 5,000 or Power Horse 4,000, something like that. I think it was Power Horse 5,000. So it may have been 5,000 watts. But I sold it 2 months ago because previously I bought it in 2016 or maybe even 2015 because I had a lot of freshwater aquariums and I was breeding freshwater fish. And I was like, man, I need to protect these because I got a lot of money and had a lot of nice expensive cichlids. And I need to protect these just in case a power goes out. I used it once. Power went out for maybe like 2 hours or something. I came home from work, hooked up the generator, ran it. It was good. It worked. But that was the only time I used it. And then 2 years later, I moved into an apartment. You can't keep a generator in an apartment. I mean, they won't let you. You can't even keep a propane bottle. You can't have a grill. At this particular apartment I lived at, you couldn't have a grill even though you didn't use it. I had it in storage for maybe 3 years, or I guess technically not a storage. It was this one guy I used to work for. He owns a trucking company, and one of his old trailers he turned into like a little storage place for his stuff and his friends and whatever. So I had it in there for about maybe 3.5 years, just sitting, not doing nothing. And I was an idiot. I dumped all the oil out. I dumped all the gas out because I wanted to, I guess, make sure it didn't go bad or something. So I was like, you know what? And that's the guy who bought it from me, the guy who had the little storage trailer. He wanted to buy it. So I was like, dude, if you want to buy it, yeah, that's fine with me. Because I was like, look, it's been sitting here. Obviously, he knew it. I was like, so if it don't work, I mean, I'm sorry. But here you go. I gave him a good deal. I think I paid like $600 for it. And I sold it for $400, which win-win. But now, man, if I could go back in time, at least if this storm was 2 months ago, I'd never sell that generator. So now I'm looking at definitely getting a generator, getting better tires, investing in 72-hour heat packs, the big boys. I think they're Uniheat. Also putting together a little kind of kit for the frogs that I can put them in just in case, this happens again, the generator doesn't work, blah, 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 whatever. That's like plan D. Plan A is generator. Plan B is go somewhere. Plan C is I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, I hope everybody's reptiles, everybody's amphibians, their dart frogs, their fish, their pets, their loved ones, their family members, and themselves are okay in Texas. It's finally over for the most part, but now everybody's dealing with broken water lines, all kinds of stuff. I've had a few friends who had issues. I had one of my friends who he left his house and he came back to about 2 inches of water all in his kitchen. It's horrible. If anybody needs anything, reach out to me. Again, I'm in Arlington, Texas, so if you need anything, just let me know. Let's all stick together. Let's get through this, and next time, let's get prepared. Let's be prepared for the next one, whenever it is. It's going to be a lot easier next time this happens, and we'll definitely be ready. That'll do it for now. I will talk to you guys next time, and appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down twice to let me know you really hate it. And don't forget to subscribe. See you guys on the next one.